Hey everyone, it's Kieran here. I'm here today with Alex out of Calgary, Alberta, where Alex works with United Coaching. Is it
Yes, that's United Coaching. That's correct.
United Coaching? And why don't you give a better introduction of who exactly you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work with United Coaching. I am one of the head coaches and the founder for it. My name's Alex. I'm 28. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm one of the few that's actually born and raised here. That's the kind of funny part.
That's like
And
everywhere in all the cities in Canada now.
right. And I'm actually an online fitness and nutrition coach. So I've been in the field for the last 10 years in my area of expertise. And what I currently specialize in is on sustainable fat loss and muscle gain as well, depending on what the kind of person's looking for.
Okay. I know. At least me. I'm sure a lot of guys. The first question they think of is how many push-ups can this guy do without stopping?
That's a good question. I'll have to test it out and get back to you. But
All right, we can do it
quite a
to the
lot.
interview
I
at
don't
some
like to brag about what I can actually do.
Maybe I'll call you out on it the interview at some point when we need a break. All right. So, how did you get into fitness and nutrition coaching?
Yeah, I've actually been a very high level athlete since I was a kid. I've never known a moment where I didn't work out or was on a nutrition plan. And the funny thing is, like for most people who usually go that, they usually go the fitness route, but that was like nothing I wanted to touch on at all. And when I turned 18, my best friend at the time was like, "Hey, you know what? We're going to university. Why don't we just become personal trainers? Because we're already super fit, and people ask us for fitness advice already." And we had a home built base garage full of fitness equipment.
Yeah.
So I said, sure, it sounds like a great idea. Just get certified and charge like 20 or 30 bucks for any of our friends to work out of there, earn some pocket money as we go to university. And I fell in love with it. And I haven't really looked back. That was it. I was very fortunate to find my passion at that age.
So, like, what was the age you started like lifting actual weights?
Oh, I was young, man. Probably I got my first set of dumbbells at 10.
At 10. Who got you into that?
Yeah, it was my parents, my dad. My dad bought me my first pair of dumbbells.
What was your dad doing at the time?
Uh, well, my dad really pushed us into sports, right? And I
What's
was
your
very
sport?
soccer and martial arts, so I was very competitive in both.
Okay.
A lot of the coaches recommend that we start lifting weights, get into strength training. So that's what he did. He just bought us a couple pair of dumbbells, got a boxing bag set up, had a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. And at 10 years old, like, what was your workout with your weights? Like, what would you do?
Honestly, I would either Google it or just whatever the trainers told me, I just did it, right?
At, at like 10 years old, you were on Google?
I was 10-year-olds in Google or whatever the search engine was at the time,
Yeah.
like Yahoo or MSN.
Yeah, I remember MSN. That's funny. Cool. All right, so you got into it at 10 years old. And then I guess, how did it progress from like 10? Like, did you continue? Have you always done weights since then? Did you stop for a while? Like, because I'm guessing there's other kids around you weren't lifting weights until like high school, partway through, or?
Yeah. Actually, I was kind of a bit different in that area. Uh, Once I get obsessed with something, I get very obsessive, and I just want to keep tackling it. So, high school was a great example for me. When kids were, hanging out at lunch, I was in the school gym working out. Right, I will show up early to go train. That's kind of it was built into me at such a young age. I didn't know anything else. And it just carried on till now.
Okay. And I know, like, when I was in high school, like, at least in my school in Burnaby growing up, no one really lifted weights back in the day. It didn't seem to, like, really take off until around, like, I don't know exactly, but around 2007, I started noticing. I'm not sure if it's just my area, but, like, did you notice all of a sudden, like, weight training became, like, a mainstream, like, most people do it type thing? Or was it always sort of a mainstream just as a high school kid? I just didn't see it.
No, I agree with you. I didn't think it was mainstream at all, unless you were a student athlete who might have touched some gyms for like football. But I think it really, YouTube professionals came, I think, really made weight training super popular now.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what advice would you give a guy in his 20s who does very little right now in terms of fitness?
My biggest advice, especially as a young male,
Yeah.
is, when most young men want to get into working out, it's usually about looking good, right? Having a six pack, getting stronger, or they want to attract the opposite sex. That's usually one of the reasons for it. My suggestion to a lot of young men is actually to take a look at it from a different perspective. Fitness is so much more than just lifting weights and putting on muscle and bench pressing weight and just picking out women. The amount of discipline that goes into it when it comes to training and diet is massive. And if they can start looking at it from perspective of, okay, if I can stick to this, if I can get results in this, think about the carryover that's going to happen with, your career, your relationships, being disciplined in other areas. So as soon as I tell someone to get started, it's the hard part is getting started. So you just need to go to the gym, research, hire a coach or something, and just start, even if it's 2 to 3 times a week.
What about like guys who've never been to the gym? Like for example, when I started going to the gym, I didn't know what to do. Luckily, I had a buddy who was like really into fitness, and I would just sort of listen to him. But say you're a guy right now, maybe you're in 20s, you don't know a lot of people around you who are into it. What would you suggest? Like, you show up to the gym, then what? Or before you show up to the gym?
Yeah, the good thing about nowadays is that there's so much information out there, right? You can always YouTube proper exercises, proper techniques to do. And most gyms, even smaller to commercial gyms, when you walk in, they have people there ready to help you. They should have an introductory package ready for you to actually take you through the equipment and teach you how to use stuff. And it is free. They have free consultations.
Yeah.
You can go up and ask the trainers. People are willing to help you, but most people are just scared to ask. So my suggestion to you, especially to guys, is, have the courage to ask. There's no harm in it.
And like, how many times a week and for how long do you think, if you're going to be starting out, how much time do you need to commit to get reasonable results so you see your fitness and health get better?
3 hours, 3 to 4 hours a week.
Okay. And how many days is that?
That can be split up between 3 to 4 days if you want to. Most people don't need to spend any more than an hour in the gym. Of course, that's dependent on your goals, but we all have to start out somewhere. I've seen a lot of people get great results just by being in the gym 3 times a week for an hour each, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other side, like my buddy's like really into weightlifting. I was working out with him for a couple months last year, and he was always ragging me because like I would go to the gym, but then he said my nutrition sucked. And he's like, you might as well not go to the gym unless you eat properly. What do you suggest on that? Like, would you agree on that?
Yeah, well, honestly, it depends on your goals, right? If your goal is to, pack on lots of muscle or lose a lot of body fat, absolutely, nutrition is absolutely going to matter. But when it comes from a health perspective,
yeah,
you should still totally go. And it doesn't always need to be at the gym. You can go out for a walk. You can play a sport. The idea is, as human beings, we are made to be active and to move. And if we don't do that, if we're not physically active, that's when we see health deteriorate. Look at the population nowadays. Obesity is probably at its highest point, and that's because people have stopped moving. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. And you think with 3 or 4 hours a week, you can be in good shape or just like sustainable shape?
No, you can be in absolutely great shape with 3 to 4 times a week. It's about how you use your time effectively. I know people have a notion that the more you go, the fitter you're going to get. And that's not true. The idea behind fitness, especially when it comes to the gym, is you don't want to live in the gym. It's meant to supplement your life outside the gym. That's why we go to the gym.
Okay. And like, so how many times a week do you go to the gym?
Mine's different because I train for a sport, of course, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to my strength training, I go about 4 times a week.
Okay.
And then the rest of it, I include anywhere from 8 to 12 other sessions during the week as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. And that's for soccer, right?
No, I'm a Muay Thai boxer right now, so that's what I'm training for.
Crazy. Have you done any fights?
This year will be my first official one.
What weight class are you in?
I don't know yet. I'm hoping I don't have to cut too much weight, but I'm aiming for between 170 to 180 pounds.
Okay, that's like a 9-round thing, right?
No, this will be a 3 round.
3 round, okay. I know I was in Thailand, and there was this bar there where anyone could fight. You just sign up and you get like a free bucket after you fight. And I was like 24 at the time, and I was traveling with this guy for a bit, and we decided we're gonna do rock paper scissors, and the loser's gonna fight. And
Oh man.
luckily I won, so he had to fight, and basically he had to fight someone 20 pounds heavier than him, and he had already been in one fight. And my buddy had just trained. He actually trained for day crew in Thailand. But my friend was like 6'7", so had really long reach. So we like asked a Muay Thai guy, like, how do we do this? And he said, just basically keep throwing kicks and punches and don't let the other guy near you. And it went 3 rounds, and it ended up in a draw because my buddy just kept kicking and punching him away. But
Wow.
it was intense, man. Like you really like when you go out to fight, like you're basically exposing yourself completely, and any mistake you make gets seen, right? Because you either win, you tie, or you get killed. So that's pretty cool. What inspired you to do it?
Well, I've been doing martial arts since I was 3, and the local fighting community has been asking me to fight for a very long time. And the main reason why I want to do it is to challenge myself. I like to put myself in situations where I can push myself, not the physical limit, but the mental limit as well. And I enjoy it. I love the whole aspect of fighting. I have an obsession with it. So it's going to be a lot of fun when I'm able to do it.
Do you stay awake sometimes, like thinking about your fight coming up, like visualizing it and stuff?
Oh man, all the time. The amount of like UFC fight videos on YouTube all the time daily is just, it's nuts.
Yeah. Huh. I was watching this documentary on Conor McGregor and all the like hit the head games he'd play with people and like just how intense into it he was. Do you see that one on Netflix there?
Absolutely, man. I'm a big McGregor fan, so it's the first thing I watched when it came out.
Okay, cool, man. That's cool. Um, so like specific food you would recommend for like good nutrition for young men, even if they're not necessarily working out hard. Like, what kind of food would you recommend eating? Like 3 or 4 things.
Yeah, yeah. The common things I see actually missing from someone's diet, number one is actually proper hydration. Most people don't
Yeah,
drink enough water, especially young men. Most of them are at bars drinking or partying, right? Uh, yeah, or coffee, a lot of caffeine.
yeah,
I
yeah,
usually suggest people start with at least 2 to 3 bottles of water a day.
yeah.
Vitamin
Bottles, like
D is
how big a bottle? Like a 1 liter bottle or
sorry, 2 to 3 liters of water a day.
okay, cool. What about I heard putting a lemon in your waters like can like save your life from cancer and stuff. Like I've been doing that for years. What are your thoughts? Like putting that lemon in the water. Apparently, like it makes it more acidic or something. A couple
Uh,
people have
that
told
that's such a big myth. I have
me
no idea where that came from. It makes it taste good, right?
that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say when it comes to research right now, the biggest cancer fighting effect is actually exercise.
Cool. Okay, it's good to know. All right. So sorry, I was sort of interrupting you, but you were saying so water. What else?
For talking specific foods, you need a moderate protein diet. So proteins are very important, preferably free from animal products. But if there's any
Yeah.
vegans or vegetarians, absolutely, there's protein in that as well. This is not exactly food, but vitamin D is
Yeah.
very important.
In terms of protein, like, what do you think organic meat versus just well, not regular meat, but today's regular meat, like corn-fed, like pigs that are raised in cages? How important do you think it is to like have like free-range grass-fed meat versus the alternative?
Yeah, that's a great question. The research is really weird on those two areas right now. We just don't know enough to know. Currently, what the research shows, there's no problems between chemically used meat compared to organic meat.
Yeah,
Because when it comes to nutrition studies, it's really hard to gauge an effect until someone has been on it for years and years and years and years, right?
yeah.
So until we know, the general consensus out now is it's both are great. It's going to be just your self preference. I like organic meat the best just because it's a lot better than the chemically cooked.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I try to do that as much as possible too, but then there's a reality like a lot of young guys don't have a ton of money, so if you can like afford organic meat, maybe like I mean I've eaten lots of corn-fed meat in my life, and it's not the best, but it's better than not eating meat and eating like processed food completely or something. I would say I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, well, actually, a funny thing is, I actually used to train a student, and he was in university, and how he actually afforded his meat, he actually hunted his meat.
What
So,
did he hunt for? Deer?
moose.
Oh wow, where do you live?
Well, he lived in Alberta, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, he would get a moose, and it would last him for a full year just with the protein from that, and that was it.
yeah. I'm going bear hunting in September, and that those are freezing for about a year, so it's
Wow,
good
nice.
organic meat. If you come out to BC, I'll give you some.
I might have to come visit you.
Yeah. Um, okay, so and you're saying vitamin D. Where would you recommend getting that from?
Well, I recommend vitamin D is because most of us stay inside all the time. Usually, you get your vitamin D from the sunlight.
Yeah,
So the best bet is most food actually don't have enough vitamin D in for you to supplement it from food. So a good basic supplement, you can get it at a basic grocery store. It's like $5 or $10, and you're looking at least to take at least 1,000 to 2,000 units a day, and that's going to help your body actually absorb the nutrients from the food that you eat into your body.
were you saying like actual like pills for the vitamin D is like a good idea?
Absolutely, it's a great idea.
Okay, cool. It's interesting. All right, so we
Yes,
got water.
especially for us since we live in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. So water, just meat, like general meat, is specific red versus white, or a big mixture of everything.
Good mixture. You don't want to stick to just one source of protein or one source of food. You always want a good mixture of sources.
Okay. And then what about in terms of like processed food? Like I personally just stay away from it. Would you recommend the same, like hot dogs or like frozen dinners or anything like that? Do you or like canned food type thing, like canned stew, or would you recommend that? Or I personally just don't touch it because it doesn't look good. It's like if you don't know how it was made or can't think of how it was made, it's probably not good for your body. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
Yeah, it's we live in a society right now where processed food is a massive thing. Is it as nutritious as whole food? No, it's not. I think that's an obvious answer to it. But my suggestion when it comes to diet principles, you want to pick a diet protocol that you can stick to, that's realistic for you, that you can enjoy. So I have some clients where I actually recommend that they go out and eat out 2 to 3 times a week so they can stick on a nutrition plan,
yeah.
right? So it depends on the person.
Okay, cool. So you're basically just saying like ideally no processed food, but we also live in a world where there's so much of it. Don't get too discouraged if you have a bit, but just sort of weed your way off it type thing.
Yeah, you can weed yourself off it if you want to.
Yeah,
I love eating out. Like I love my pizza, I like my burgers, and I will never quit that.
yeah. Okay.
It just depends on the person. Usually, when you're physically active, you have a good protein diet, you can watch the amount of calories you eat, and you have good fiber control. You can have some stuff in moderation. It's not going to affect your health at all.
Okay, cool. Um, and then I guess so in terms of training, why like I'm assuming you're pro hiring a trainer. I agree in hiring coaches for like hiring experts for things that I'm not good at personally. Like if you're gonna spend the time working out, probably hire a trainer. But what's your take on like why hire a trainer in general for fitness and nutrition?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I'm like you. I'm a very big advocate of hiring coaches to teach you and to learn from. Even for myself, I have coaches for my strength training, for my Muay Thai, and a nutritionist I work with as well. And the reason why I'm such a big advocate of it is because your ego can get involved when it comes to fitness. That's a big thing. You don't know what your body's going to do. It's always good to get a second opinion and to learn from someone who just knows more from you. You can there's nothing wrong with doing all the research on your own, but why do that when you can save time and hire an expert in the field and learn from them directly of what to do exactly with your body?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And like for me personally, like I like doing things in a group, and like I do my own workouts like basically right now because I've been traveling a lot. Like I do push-ups, sit-ups in the morning. I go for like a run. Sometimes like I'll try. Joe Rogan was talking about like running up sand hills as much as possible because it's like the hardest thing you can do. So I'd go as far as I can, like 20 or 30 meters, and then walk a bit and jog a bit. But I I much prefer working out with people. Do you find that, or are you more of a solo guy yourself? Or?
Personally, for me, I'm a big solo guy. I don't like being in a whole community atmosphere. But I know for most people, being in a community is very encouraging like that, right? It's uplifting. It motivates you to come in and do more. People are social creatures, right? They want to be
Yeah.
around.
So, what do you recommend for a young guy? Because I mean, like our world now, it's like everyone's working random jobs at random times. Like right now, it's like almost 7 o'clock, and we're filming. Right, it's 8 o'clock your time. So
Yeah.
people's schedules are all over the place. How do you find a workout buddy with similar goals and like who can commit to a schedule? Any advice for doing that? Because I've personally failed at that big time.
Yeah, you know what? That can be very difficult. Dude. Finding the right training partner is it's really hard to do because you want to find someone that's committed to your goals and is training the exact way that you do. Even for my training partner, it was really hard to find just because I need to find someone that's on the same level as I am. What's really good is we got Facebook and Instagram. Most people are on it. Why not just make a small little post? Hey, I'm looking for a workout partner that wants to work out this time,
Yeah.
this time, this time, and then hold on audition with them to see if it's a good match. Because it should be a good match. It shouldn't be just something that is going to jump in and is not going to push you, or you're not going to be able to push them.
So like posting on Facebook, or like reaching out to people on Facebook type thing, and just start finding people, like just being proactive about it, pretty much.
Absolutely. When someone tells me they can't find a workout partner or they can't find something, you're not being very proactive about it, like you said, right? You got to be active, and you want something, you got to go out and look for it. That's how I find my workout partners. I just post on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll have 5 or 10 people reaching out to me right away.
Cool. Okay. And how about, so for example, like I like right now I'm technically not lifting weights. I'm doing like body workout stuff. If guys are like in situations where they can't get to a gym, like what would you recommend for like working out for whatever reason they're just not in the gym, whether it's time or location or just like straight up they got no money?
Yeah.
What would you suggest then? Like,
Yeah, it really depends on their goals, right? But people also got to realize that body weight exercises are just as good as lifting weights. It might not be very good for building mass, but when it comes to physical capabilities, increasing your cardio output, it's great. There's lots of things that you can do. Now, when it comes down to it, like there's so many different types of workouts I can suggest. You can do push-ups, pull-ups, lunges, body weight squats. You can challenge yourself for time. But when it comes to me giving an exact workout out, I don't know until I get to know the exact individual and what they need, right?
For me personally, like my benchmark is like I need to be able to do 50 push-ups in a row. It's nothing crazy, but it's something that's like if I can't do at least 50 push-ups in a row after being rested for a bit, it's like my fitness is like hurting. I don't know. It's just for me personally. I don't know if 50 is just a number. Well, do you have a number? Like what would you be disgusted with if you couldn't do push-ups? Someone called you out on it.
If I can, so probably 100 for me.
100 in a row.
100 in a row. Sounds like if I can't do 100, then I'm looking at the next day.
You should like do a little video after and post it on YouTube and put it in the comment link on this video so we can see you at your 100 and we can call you out if you don't get there.
Oh man, now you're hitting my
do
ego.
that, we should do like live feed too, so we know it's like not like re-recorded. Just joking.
I should have said like 20 or 30.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Do you have a website with like information where if we want to go look at stuff, we can like someone now that we know you? Do you have a personal website for this?
No, I don't have a personal website. I only use social media. So I got an Instagram. You can go to United Coaching. There's a bunch of free content on there already. And people are more than welcome to shoot me a direct message as well so I can answer their questions. They can be as specific as they want. Or I also have a Facebook group, United Coaching as well. You can find me on there as well.
Okay, and just maybe in this YouTube video, just put a comment in so people know to reach out to you there as well. And if they like are interested in hiring a coach, do you give like a free consultation or like a free plan or anything like that to get started just so they can try it out, or anything you can offer to young men's mentoring people specifically? Always looking for a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I always give free consultations, regardless if they're interested in long-term coaching or not, because I only accept 20% of my applicants.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So if anyone who's watching is interested in coaching or they want advice, reach out, talk to me, because I do specific niche people, and if I can't help you, I will point you out in the direction that somebody can help you.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. Same with the coaching I do. Like, I don't take a lot of people just because, like, I don't want to coach someone unless I can help them, and if they're not willing to commit, and like, if I can't help them, I'm also not going to help because they're just going to give me a bad reference, and like, I'm just going to feel like bad about what I'm doing, right? So that's cool that you also do that. It makes
Yeah,
yeah,
I totally relate to that, man.
I'm much more comfortable wanting to use you as a coach as well.
Exactly.
So, any advice to like having fun with the journey of like physical fitness and stuff? Like, just
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You got to do this to enjoy yourself, right? It's the results that are going to keep you motivated. When you don't get results, that's when you get demotivated, right? So in order to enjoy the journey, my suggestion is to plan out small goals as you go along, because those are small wins. And when you win, that's motivating.
cool. No, that makes sense. I know for me, like recently, like I'm just following a couple guys on YouTube as well, and one of them was just talking about he's like about like the gym and working out and stuff. He's like, you don't have to do it, but like physical health and fitness is like a massive part of your life, and it's another challenge that you should at some point, or if not your whole life, try to conquer it, because it's like there's only so many, like there's two things I think you're with your, like there's only one thing you're with from the time you're born to the time you're dying. It's your body and your breath. And it's like, why wouldn't you treat that as good as you can? Because when you can treat your body well, you can think better and you can do more crazy awesome things in your life. And when you're in shape, people do judge when they look at you. They like get a perception of you, whether we like to admit it or not. And it's like, if you can feel better, if you can look better, and you can think better, I don't know. I think you need to do this, and it's something like I take seriously, but not enough. And it's like good talking to guys like you and like hiring someone like you just to keep you motivated and finding workout buddies and stuff. I mean, it sounds like that's what you advocate for as well. So cool.
Yeah, so like I mentioned to you in the beginning, the carryover from fitness and nutrition for your health, it's massive. It's more than just, like you said, looking good, looking great naked and just having a great body and being strong. The carryover when it comes to confidence, your mindset, when it comes to you approaching that attractive girl at the bar because you feel amazing, confident about it. It's massive. It does so much more than people realize for yourself.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, man, and just giving some of this like advice. Like it's cool, and it's cool that it's like personal like this. So before we leave, is there anything else, anything that we could do to help you out, or any parting or any parting advice before we end this interview?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely say follow me on United Coaching.
Yeah.
And my whole purpose right now is to give proper value back to as many people as I can. There's so much bad information out there right now, and I feel like my sole purpose is to change that, right? So
Yeah.
if I could leave, your viewers with something, is start to treat fitness as something more than just a physical side. If you get started now, that road 10 years, 15 years down the road, when things get hard,
Yeah.
that something that was inspired me was a guy named Greg Plitt. He was a famous fitness model that passed away a couple years ago.
Okay.
I actually watched one of his YouTube videos when I was 17. And what he said in that video changed my whole perspective on fitness. And that was, if you can push yourself to the limit in the gym and survive it, think about how easy life is going to be.
Yeah.
Right? So if I can leave that with the people that watch this, if you can treat the gym in that retrospect, that if you can push yourself to your limits in there, man,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot easier than
I like that. I worked at this camp for like kids in jail, and it was a run camp out in the wilderness. And every morning we had to run 6 kilometers up the hill, and like we'd run as cold as minus 25 in the snow. And that's like, if you can that's the hardest part of your day. Everything else is just going to be easier. And most days it's true.
Yeah, you're right. It is. It's a very good. It's a very truth to it. That's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Cool. Well, we'll end it at that for now. Maybe we'll get you on in a year or two and check how you're doing and any more advice you can give us between then. And thanks for coaching, man. I know that I've read that the three things that you can help people with that they'll love you for life is relationships, health, and money. So you're definitely hitting that health side. So that's really cool, man.
Thank
And
you.
cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching Young Men's Mentoring, and we'll see you soon. If you got any comments, feel free to put them down below. See ya.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.